You know, some people age like a fine wine, and some people age like a can of special brew left on a hot windowsill. Whichever one you are, get ready to talk about those pesky little emotions of yours, because it's time for another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Please welcome your host, Sam Lake. It was me the whole time. Hello, welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. I hope you're ready for a gun show in stunning 4K, because today my guest is the one and only Liam Withnail.
Hello.
Hi, babes.
Stunning 4K indeed. Is it? It goes out audio only as well, I imagine?
It does.
So we're going to have to describe in details.
Oh, well, let me count the veins that are popping off your biceps. We did just start, before we started recording, talking about the gym.
Yeah, and you rated my workout. But you've been a gym guy for a long time, right?
I've always gone to the gym, but I feel like I've been doing a lot of just maintenance.
Right.
And I think in the last year and a bit is when I've got serious about
You're bulking up.
gains.
You're bulking up.
Yeah, I am slightly worried though I focus too much on chest and not enough on everything else. So I'll just be just a nice
You
set of
skip
tits
leg
walking
day.
around. No.
Okay, sorry.
I don't. How dare you? How dare you? It's really toxic, actually. No, I do leg day. I don't like to do leg day, though. It's the day that I like.
Do you know what I really
put off
like?
the most.
Sorry, I know we're going to chat about the gym again now. It's not what we're here.
We're two red-blooded males.
I like the angled leg press. You know the one that's like you it's like you're in a rocket ship and you push
Where
upwards
you're
towards the
pushing,
sky.
like sort of like up at an angle.
Yeah, that's fun.
Do you feel a bit vulnerable when you're in that?
Whatever do you mean? Elaborate.
I don't know.
Is that a reference to my history of having a bad bum?
Well, it could be, I suppose.
Because I have to say, occasionally a squat is a big risk.
Is it?
Yeah. Depends what I've eaten.
Okay. It's not that. We're not going to get that, laddie. We're not going to get that, laddie. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I think we already have.
Okay.
Sorry for bringing down the tone of the pod within the first 2 minutes.
But no, I will say, for the people listening, you can see the results.
Thanks so much.
Really popping. I sent to you posted a little progress pic on Instagram.
Yes.
And
in a vest.
in a little vest.
Yes.
A little slut. A little vest. And at a gig that you were not at, several of the male comics, I think it was here, several of the male comics and the staff were just like, have you seen Liam?
Several of the male comics and the staff. You're having some big team meeting backstage.
We're having a big team meeting to talk about widening the doorways for your huge old delts. Yeah.
What are delts?
They're like
You don't know.
They're underneath the
Ewan
shoulders.
knows. Ewan's a bit of a tank, by the way. He's off camera. Ewan does my pod as well. But
the most muscly is off the camera.
just to
for
describe,
sure.
he couldn't fit in frame.
That's why he's off the camera. We need people to listen to you talk about your feelings and not just come.
So you have listened to my pod. Good. Wonderful. Excellent.
Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm a big fan.
Listen, Sam, I think you've been a real good addition to the scene up here. I love gigging with you. You're a funny man. I saw your show last Saturday.
You did. Thank you for coming. I was very grateful that there was someone familiar to say hi to once the show was over.
Yeah, because there was a hen party in.
There sure was.
But I thought you dealt with it so well, because
Thank you.
I get very grumpy in that situation. And I'm the sort of actor who I'll go, well, the show's not continuing until this hen party's been thrown out. Whereas you just like brought them in, but in a way that made it the rest of the audience clear that you were annoyed with them, but where they felt like they were still having fun.
They were still part of it, because I didn't want to.
Perfectly pitched.
It was really hard. If it was a club set just on like a normal weekend, I really wouldn't care. I would just walk off stage and be like,
Yeah.
that wasn't the best gig.
But it's your
Not
big
out of my control.
hour.
It's my huge hour.
It's your big throbbing hour.
It's my big veiny hour.
And there's like, I mean, it is really, really funny, but there's some like emotional, vulnerable stuff in there as well.
And it was getting to that bit where I was just like, I really can't have them.
Two of them just left, though.
Two of them just left. Well, she tried to leave. She needed a wee. And so she tried to walk out, and she accidentally walked out through the fire escape. Now, to her credit, she wasn't to know that was the fire escape, because all there was a big safety handle on it and a big sign that said fire escape.
Yeah.
How could she have known? But I think once they left to go to the toilet,
They had the loudest shoes on I've ever heard in my life as well.
Plumpy.
Yeah.
Clumpy little shoes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Hooves.
But, I mean, thanks for coming, ladies. And congrats.
If you're listening, I fucking hated you. Wonderful show, though. Funny man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This is what the pod is it? Is you just bring people in to compliment your comedy?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to stop them from doing it. But also, we did start by complimenting your physique.
Yes, that's true.
So
we each have our strengths.
You get what you give. Yeah. Are you excited to talk a little about emotions and feelings?
Always. I'm a very emotional person.
Yeah, you told me this.
I'm so easily emotionally manipulated by art. Like, I cry all the time at movies and music and TV shows and viral videos.
Do you think that comes as a surprise to people? Because I don't know if I'd ever thought that when I first met you.
Well, I mean, listen, just because a guy's got big guns doesn't mean he doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I've always been like that. I think it's because my dad is people there's like this sort of trope of people talking about their dads being like emotionally stunted. And, whereas my dad was the opposite. Like he, if I see my dad, he cries.
Yeah.
He's, cheers, Liam. I'm so proud of your son. Cheers. You're a good lad. He's Irish.
Okay, right.
He had another stroke.
So is your dad Nadine Coyle? Oh, where's she gone? Oh, she's over here.
Lawyer. So I saw him cry so much growing up that I never thought it was weird or anything. So I'm pretty. It doesn't take much for me to go. In fact, there is some I read a book called. Have you ever read this book? It's called A Little Life.
No.
It's by Hannah Yanagihara. This is amazing. It's really big. And if you ever meet anyone who's read it, they have this like haunted look in their eyes because it's so traumatic and it's so sad.
Okay.
And I read it, and it was honestly like every time I picked up that book, I would cry. Wow. And I read the whole thing. And now every time I see someone reading it in public, I'm like, you well up a little bit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Because I know what they're going through reading it. I'm like, so sometimes I'll be out with my wife and we'll see someone and she'll go, oh, bloody hell. She's Australian. Oh, here we bloody
Great
go.
For your voice acting.
And I'm like,
episode.
Verby J, get in touch. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, they're going, yeah. And they turned the book into a West End show. It was 4 hours long. And
that's really
heavy
long.
Going. Yeah.
That's so long. Is there an interval?
Yes, there was an interval.
Okay, so I can check my phone.
Yeah. Well, actually, there was no phone signal in the theatre, so probably not.
You've not sold it to me.
You want to cry without contact to the outside world for 4 hours in a hot box in London?
I would cry anyway, no matter what's happening. Well, that's good. I'm glad to know that you're in touch with your feelings. Mm-hmm. Before we come on to your chosen subject that we're going to deep dive into, every guest brings on a little drink, something to enjoy whilst we chat. Would you like to tell everyone what you brought in today?
Well, I'm not a drinker.
No.
These days. So I brought in my favourite alcohol-free beer, which is alcohol-free Guinness.
Uh-huh.
Which is...
Stouty.
Do you drink Guinness?
Not by choice.
Right.
But I have had it before.
Okay, yeah.
It's the kind of thing... Sorry, I'm about to say something really laddie again. You know, protein shakes can be really disgusting.
Yeah.
So I mix it up and then I neck it in one go.
Yes.
Just get it in me.
Yes.
I would do the same with a Guinness.
You would drink a Guinness in one go?
Yeah.
It's really heavy though.
The only time I can remember drinking it was, I think my old boss challenged me to a Guinness drinking race.
Right.
And I lost quite badly because I didn't like it.
Yeah, okay. So Guinness was my favourite drink when I did drink.
Right.
I loved it. So creamy, so delicious.
So creamy, so delicious.
Yeah. I think that's the tagline.
Yeah.
So Guinness is so creamy,
famously,
so delicious. So creamy, so delicious for jazz. But so then I missed it terribly.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years ago, they brought out Guinness Zero, and by God, it's so good. It tastes exactly... Do you know how to make alcohol-free stuff?
No.
They make it in the same way, but then they freeze it, and that kills the alcohol.
Does it really?
And then it thaws out, and it's alcoholless. So it's made exactly the same way. So it tastes just like Guinness.
This isn't sponsored by Guinness, by the way.
It is. There is a contract being negotiated at the moment. All further episodes will have at least 10 references to Guinness Zero.
Because when you think Guinness, you think Sam Lake.
So creamy, so delicious.
So creamy, so delicious.
The Sam Lake story.
So that's not nice because it is the story of me, creamy and delicious.
So, but we have an issue though, because I expected, as you asked me to bring in a fun drink, that you might have some suitable receptacles for these drinks.
We had one in the kitchen.
We have a pint glass. Now, so any Guinness drinkers will be annoyed already at this, because there's a whole thing with Guinness about how it has to be served in the right glass and at the right temperature, and they have to give it the right pour. So we're already doing that a disservice with this glass. But that's not even, that's not even going to register in terms of people's problems when they see that you're drinking out of a GB News mug.
Okay, first of all, didn't buy it, was lovingly made by a good friend, Olga, who's already been on the show.
GB stands for Guinness, bitch.
Guinness, bitch. And on, Guinness on the other side, it just say Free Speech Nation with Andrew Doyle.
Our favourite show. We love that guy. He's so talented and interesting. That's why he's always still gigging all the time.
Have you ever watched GB News? Their attempt at Mock the Week.
The headliners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stinky.
I watched it after having quite a powerful edible, and I got so confused. Because they change opinion. The whole point is they change opinions halfway through to see how easy it is for people to change opinions. And I didn't know that was a concept of the show. And so I just thought like, God, I swear they were just saying the exact opposite just a minute ago.
Wow, all of a sudden these guys are really reasonable.
Yeah. And then, unrelated, I had the most violently sexual dream I've ever had after I went to bed that night. But that's besides the point.
To do with anybody in the show that you'd watched?
Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no.
Wish I had an edible to be able to justify all the sex dreams I have about Andrew Doyle. Just a joke, guys.
Just a little bit of a joke.
I don't talk this freely on my own podcast. I don't know what's come over me.
I loosen up the guest. I put them in a safe space. Okay, so shall we pop? Would you call it pop in the can?
Yeah, well, yeah, but there is a widget inside, so you can't drink it from the can. You have to pour it.
I'm going to need to put this down. Okay, so, all right.
This is going to be really good podcasting right now.
Oh, a little bit of ASMR. Oh, that's frothy. Okay, maybe I should do it over here. Oh God. No. What? It's not even open.
Well, yeah, open it.
But it keeps coming. Hang on. Oh, Christ. Okay.
You can see that gym workout's really been put to its... So, oh my God. If you could see the way that Sam Lake is pouring this Guinness into this mug, I think you would probably... Don't ever go to Ireland.
He's like a really toxic man. Like a famous toxic man.
Andrew Tate.
Hey, Andrew Tate in your Romanian sex prison, fucking come at me.
I don't know. You need to wait. Oh my God.
I have to wait? Oh, because it waits and then there's a horse. I forgot. Sorry. That's the advert, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
The man who waits and then there's a horse.
Yeah, you have to, it has to settle. You have to. I don't even drink and this is annoying me.
Is it? I have had to ask a room full of men this before. Is any of it in my mustache?
No, your mustache is free.
Okay, lovely. Don't worry. Okay, how long do you have to wait?
Well, just until, that for this glass, that's probably ready now. Can you see? It's not actually black. It's actually a dark red, and you can see that in the light. Isn't that beautiful? And then you top up the rest, but you won't be able to do that.
I can't. It's a full mug. I can't even see how thick the head is.
You said that in a room full of men as well before.
I certainly have. It's okay when I say it.
I thought I was an ally. Can't allies make jokes?
Yes, you're an ally. I'll get you your membership card. Well, lovely. Is it so? You chose Guinness because it was your favourite drink from before. Do you gain any? Do you find it a comforting beverage at all?
I will. Yeah, I guess kind of. I will have a Guinness if I'm maybe celebrating something. Like at Christmas, we had some as a nice evening treat.
Yeah.
Or if I'm out and I'm with friends and it's like a birthday or something, I'll maybe have a Guinness Zero.
A Guinness Zero.
Yeah.
What's the worst alcohol-free beverage?
Oh, there's loads of bad ones. Yeah. They've got a lot better, but when I first gave up drinking, like the Beck's Blue is absolutely disgusting.
No good.
I remember when I first had it, it reminded me of when you're at like a barbecue.
Yes.
And it's a British barbecue, so it rains.
Yeah.
And then you go back outside when it's finished raining and you pick up the can that you were drinking and you don't realise it's been left out in the rain.
Warm.
And it's half lager, half rainwater. and you have a sip. That's what Beck's Blue tastes like.
Just wet beer.
You've never had that experience?
I don't think so.
Have you ever drank a can of lager that you've forgotten at a party and a fag butt has come out into your mouth?
No. Go to better parties.
It's just a long time ago.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't go to any parties. 34. Jesus Christ.
You could go to parties.
No.
You can come to my birthday when I finally plan one.
When you finally plan a birthday?
Because I was going to go laser tag last year and then I just couldn't be bothered.
Oh, because it's annoying your birthday. It's like the first day of the Fringe or something. No, honestly, I've got no time for that. That's like people who have their birthday on Christmas Eve. Grow up.
No. Oh, well. Well, that's upsetting. Anyway. Right. Well, we're ladding out. We've got our beverages. You chose a subject to talk about today, which I'm a big fan of, so I think we'll have lots to say about it. You chose video games.
Yeah.
Why video games? Why do video games make you emotional?
Well, I think it's just it's an underrated bit of art.
Agreed.
Think, you know, and if you play a lot of games, you know that you become invested, not just time wise, but emotionally into the story or your
stories,
progress. But also, I mean, emotions. When we say emotional, often we just assume you think like sad.
Yes.
You know, but it's a broad spectrum.
You can feel many things,
and, you know, you're playing someone at a game and you beat them, the rush of like...
Okay, so I was going to ask, so like, is part of the emotional experience the sort of the competitive
I don't really play competitive games too often because it does something bad to me.
Does it?
I'm quite a competitive person. And so for the same reason, I also love board games. But in my house, we're only allowed to play cooperative board games.
Where you work as a team.
Otherwise, I destroy people.
What's the fucking point?
And well, because it's you versus the board, and that's nice.
Okay.
But it's the same with video games. Like, get me in a room with some lads and Mario Kart, and you're gonna see a Liam that you don't like.
I have played Mario Kart against you once at Crystal Evans's party.
Yes.
I wouldn't have said you were particularly.
It's because I won
some of the races.
I won the tournament.
I always say with Mario Kart, the best driver gets penalised the most, which is why I think I came 11th.
Yeah, but you know, I was winning, so there was, you know, no problem. But also, I may not have vocalised it, but inside, I was taking it very, very seriously.
Okay.
There's no fun element of it for me. There's people here, they're watching you. You need to be good. You need to be the best. You better perform.
You're the Lewis Hamilton of Mario Kart. Lewis Hamilton was very tiny and had a lot of mushrooms.
Doesn't pay tax.
Does he not pay tax?
He lives in Switzerland, so he doesn't pay tax. Monaco. Okay, Ewan, Mr. Scientist.
Have you been to Monaco recently? Lovely this time.
Who knows where Monaco is? Grow
you
up.
And Lewis out on the yachts.
He's the Lewis Hamilton of bloody correcting me in public. Jesus Christ.
Lewis Hamilton used to date Nicole Scherzinger.
Did he really?
And then they broke up.
That's a power couple. Who does he date now?
I don't know. I can't imagine
some Monacan princess.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, that's tough. She's Pussycat Dolls, right?
She's a bloody Pussycat doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of fell off though.
She's very much going strong.
Yeah, what happened
she's
to
in
the
that
rest of them?
Sunset Boulevard. If you watch the episode with Olga, you'll find out exactly what happened to all of them because I, of course, follow all of their careers very closely.
Wow.
Shout out to Melody Thornton, who won the Masked Singer Australia.
I can't believe I did a callback to a podcast episode that I haven't even seen.
Then none of these episodes are even out yet. So
yeah.
Well done.
I'm so good at comedy that I'm calling back to stuff that I haven't even witnessed.
One of the best in the game. One of the best in the game. But so you don't play. Do you ever play online?
Yeah, I have played a lot of games. I don't now, but I have. I used to play a game called Overwatch a lot.
Yeah, that's sort of designed for. That's an e-sport.
Yes,
kind of thing, right?
That's only online.
Yeah.
And me and a bunch of other comics actually for about a couple of years would play it very regularly online up until the wee hours of the morning.
The wee hours.
Yes.
Yeah. Who was your character in Overwatch?
There's a couple that I used to play.
Okay.
There was a healing character called Lucio.
Okay.
He was sort of roller skating Brazilian guy with dreadlocks, so
you
a natural
saw a bit
fit.
of yourself in him. Yeah.
Yes. And there was Diva, who I believe was from Korea. And she had like a big sort of mech that she would get into. And she was kind of an e-girl. She'd like do the peace sign.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm saying this in this podcast, but honestly, slay. Honestly, Liam, slay.
Yeah. But she was pretty devastating. So I used to play it a lot, but these online games.
Do you think it can get quite toxic? Especially if you have voice chat on.
Well, yeah, we used to turn voice chat off because that used to make me upset. Because
you have to.
People would say really nasty things about. I remember once it was just coming to the end of a match.
Yeah.
And I set off Diva's special ability,
which is
her mech just sort of flies in front of us and explodes.
That's cunty.
And I did it in the wrong place, and all of my team turned their mics on and went, "Why the fuck did you just do? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that there of all places?" And I was so upset that I immediately just turned off my PlayStation.
Wow, you had a little rage quit.
It wasn't a rage quit,
or more like a sad boy quit.
It was a sad quit. I sat there on my own in my room, just breathing and thinking to myself, "You completely fucked up." And that is emotional.
That's like those boys who had to do the penalties when England were in the final.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly that.
Yeah,
it's exactly that.
The world was watching.
Were they?
Feels like it.
It's interesting you brought up like a team sport, because the only game that I can play online, I don't play much online. I can only play games online that I know I'm somewhat confident at. So I only play like Tekken. That's the only game that I play.
Yeah, okay.
And I play as Xiao Yu because I see myself in a young Chinese woman.
Yeah.
But if I do badly in a match at Tekken, then that's just on me. There's nobody else. It's just me and another person. So if I lose, then I can only get angry at myself. It's a very self-contained thing.
Do you get caught like trying to replay someone who's beaten you? Like, I need to fucking get one over on this guy.
Do you know what? So in Tekken 8, we've been playing a lot of, they do it so you are sort of encouraged to play 3 rounds with the same person. So it's always the best of 3. And if someone is very much a sore loser and you win the first match, they'll just disconnect and refuse to play the other 2.
Yep.
Which I think is sad.
Yeah, okay. I would definitely do that.
Would you?
That's what I mean. It brings out emotions in me that I don't like. So I don't really play online anymore.
Is there like a ranking system in Overwatch? Because in Tekken, you both have a ranking. So like, if you get matched up with someone who's like 10 ranks higher than you, then I would quit, because I'll be like, there's no way I'll beat this person. Yeah,
that's a whole thing that you can get pretty obsessed with, actually, is where in the, whether you're a gold or a silver or a platinum player. And we all got pretty dug into it. So I basically turned Overwatch off one day a few years ago and went, I'm never playing this again.
Ever? Have you played it since?
I think I played it once during the pandemic. We did a big online game on Twitch, but not really, because it's one of those games as well where it's like, well, I'll just play one more, and I would lose 6 or 7 hours.
Lose hours.
And stay up until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
It is quite bad. You know, they have like clinics in certain countries in Asia for people who are addicted to playing video, because they don't even get up to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
They'll be like, the game is so important, I will just shit right here. It's like, you got, and
that has happened to me, but not because
you made the choice.
Too much Guinness Zeros.
Yeah. Lads, when you play it, you gotta get up and have a shit.
Well, have you heard about, in like the people who wear nappies so that they can play the fruit machines? Like in Vegas.
Yeah. I was gonna call them the slot pushers, and I don't think that's right. They're called the slot.
They're just called the slots, I think.
Slot jockeys?
Slut jockeys.
Big, huge, thirsty slots? I know they're called the slot jockeys. There's a word for people. Yeah, but I know, yes. Slot jockey.
Yeah. I mean, so I just became aware that, like, actually, I'm losing a bit of control about how much I'm playing here.
Yeah. Because you lose yourself. It's
so I don't play games like that anymore.
What kind of games are you playing then at the moment?
I love Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, we like an RPG.
A big Dungeons and Dragons style.
I still haven't got that, even though you convinced me to buy it because of the big old lizard cocks.
There's big lizard cocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. that they've like when you're designing a character, he's just there like Billy Bollocks or her, and you can see you can zoom in and you can see right up to the whole cock.
You can see the whole thing.
Yeah,
just right there.
And the same with the lady's vagine.
Does it come up in the story at all? Does like a cutscene change if you enter the scene naked and they'll be like, we have to go and get the orb. By the way, cover it up, Nigel.
Nigel the elf.
Nigel the elf.
No, sometimes it depends. I mean, the thing about the game is it's so big and they've got so many variations of everything that there probably are instances where if you're naked, then someone's like, hey, put your flaps away.
Come flaps. On. Put the flaps away.
Yeah. And that's emotional because there's like it's probably the best writing I've seen in the game. Most game writing is bad.
It's the kind of thing where you notice when it's done well because it's consistently done very badly.
Like so badly. And often people praise game writing and I play it and I think, this is really bad. Have you ever seen anything ever? This is dreadful writing.
I'm not saying this is a reflection on the writing. Can I share a controversial opinion about a game that's very popular?
Who are you going to put on blast right here? Let's hear it.
The Last of Us.
I totally agree.
I just found the game just like... I used to play Metal Gear Solid.
Fantastic game.
Loved that game, even though really heavy on cutscenes. But Metal Gear Solid was kind of camp. Like sometimes there would be a scene and you'd be like, why is the president being chased with a rocket launcher and he's doing a casual backflip? Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, okay, well, this is kind of fun. The Last of Us, I just found the beginning very sad. And then the whole game stays very sad. There's not much hope or like anything to like get excited about. And then you do a bit that I would say, I found a lot of the game quite difficult. And then you get past it and you'd be like, oh, I did it. What's your reward? A 25-minute cutscene where everyone's talking about the world ending. Bleh,
I found the gameplay really boring as well. It's just, you just press triangle for 4 hours. That's the whole game.
I think like a stealth, because a lot of it's quite stealthy, like stealth missions, sneak around the clickers and stuff. I think that's fine if it's like one part of a game, but if it's most of the game, I'm like, I don't.
I actually don't mind that because I love stealth games because I love Metal Gear Solid 2. That was my first game that I truly loved.
I suppose that is a stealth game.
And I loved sneaking around and getting Russian soldiers and breaking their necks and then hiding their bodies in a locker
and then making them wiggle. We just love to make a boy wiggle, don't we? Oh. So sorry. So yes. Did you ever do it where you went around that game and find all of the pictures of sexy Japanese ladies
ladies
and if you shot some of them they'd explode because they were so damn hot.
Yeah
well,
we all know what that feels like.
The days where I still thought I was straight. Question about RPGs, because I do think they are maybe easier for people to get immersed in, because a lot of them have quite heavy character customization. If you wanted to, you could make a character that looks exactly like you, so it feels like it's you playing the game. Are you that type of player, or do you create a character that looks nothing like you? Big old lizard cock, wings, horns.
So let me tell you about my character in BG3.
BG3, the old BG3.
He has horns.
Great.
He has a tail. Mm-hmm. He has lizard scales.
Okay.
He is jacked.
Of course.
He looks exactly like me in every way.
Of course.
He has one eye. One eye has been replaced because there's a worm inside his brain and they tried to take out his eye with a needle.
Is that a real decision that you make about the character?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Fascinating.
And so now he has one red eye that can see invisibility.
Okay.
And I love that for me.
I love that for you too. So you're very much in the camp of let's take the fantasy to the extreme. I'll be literally any
saying
creature.
That I'm also playing Stardew Valley at the moment.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw her and you got yourself a tasty little new girlfriend wife.
Me and Leia, we're very happy together.
Yeah.
And he's called Liam. So
okay.
And he has my sort of hair, but then it's less customizable on Stardew. So
yeah, whenever I play Pokemon, I always call the character Sam.
Yeah.
Because that's my name. Yeah.
Because
I just find it interesting because there's a lot of men who sometimes maybe a new installment in a game franchise will come out and they'll reveal who the protagonist is, and it's not like a buff white man with a crew cut. It might be a woman.
Yes.
And then all of these men will just toss their toys out of the pram and be like, I'm not going to play a game of playing.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, boobies and you get all over the gun and just, you know. But I don't see you as one of those people.
No, it's insane to me that anyone would. It's like, I used to play Spyro the Dragon. I'm not pretending to be a bloody dragon, I'm a bloody man. You know what I mean? I will say, Metal Gear Solid specifically, there was a pivot from playing as Solid Snake, the burly, classic Sylvester Stallone, Rambo-esque hero.
To little skinny Twinkie Raiden.
To little Raiden the Twink.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the first game I played in Metal Gear Solid was with Raiden the Twink.
Yeah.
So I had everyone's like, I fucking hate this guy. He's got blonde hair and a jawline and he's gorgeous. I don't want that. I was like, he's cool.
He's fine. Does that little bit where he is completely naked and has to cover his little pieces.
Yes, Austin Powers style.
Yeah. Because there was such like a huge, like, what's the word? I want to say pullback and reveal. Is that it? Because I remember getting the demo for Metal Gear Solid 2 and you play as Snake on the tanker.
Yes.
But when you buy the game, you don't get to do the tank right away. You got to beat the main game, which is all Raiden.
That was my exact same experience with the demo and everything.
Yeah.
You get up to fighting Olga. Not Olga Koch. She's not in Metal Gear Solid 2.
The villain in that game, I think, was called the Lale Lulelo.
The Lale Lulelo?
Yeah. And everyone kept saying it. We're like, how are the voice actors not absolutely losing their shit in the studio? What a ridiculous.
I will say Kojima is, he's a bit too much going on.
Little bit too much.
He's
got some ideas.
He needs some editors in there. The same with Death Stranding. But anyway, what I was originally going to say was that in Baldur's Gate 3, you can like romance people. And I find myself getting very emotionally caught up in who I'm dating and, the voice, the dialogue options.
Yeah.
I really think about each one and which one is going to make me most likely to fuck.
I was going to ask, like, are you romancing multiple partners of varying species and genders? Or do you focus on one at a time?
Man, I actually really fucked it because the girl that I was originally sort of, doing stuff with.
Yeah.
Shadowheart.
Already, I can picture it. Sounds like a tasty little piece.
She's a hot piece of ass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You say it's respectful?
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got many skills that she brings to the game.
Boobies. For example.
2 of them?
Hell yeah.
Okay, not a Total Recall situation then. Okay.
But then and this has fucked me before. When I played Witcher 3, right?
Oh, yeah.
I fucked everybody I could in that. Right?
I'm sure there's an achievement for it.
Well, actually, if you do that, then you get the worst ending.
Do you?
So I was punished for my horniness throughout the game, and I was given the worst ending, and I was like made to feel like such a piece of shit.
Is the Witcher just sat in an STI clinic being like, you've got everything? Even one of the ones that only horses get.
And so, but I just can't help myself. So this time, like, I was romancing Shadowheart, and then I can't remember who it is, the lady's name, but then I romanced someone else at the same time. But then the game doesn't let you do it. Like, Shadowheart just comes up to me and says, "Oh, I see you like to go with her. That's fine." And I'm like, "No, you're the one I really love."
Oh, but is it not possible in the game, or just not the way you played it?
I don't know. There's so many possibilities. But all I know is that me and Shadowheart is over, and it hurts.
That's
and now
devastating.
Now I'm with this new broad who I don't even want to date.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's kind of like in Brokeback Mountain, where they both end up marrying women, but they're like, we miss the mountain.
Much like Overwatch, I just wish I knew how to quit,
That's another good callback. You're good at this. You're so good at this. So you find yourself getting quite emotionally attached to these, even though they're not real relationships, you do find yourself emotionally invested in what's going to happen.
If it's good, I mean, the thing about The Witcher, right? That everyone loves Witcher, but again, I thought it was really quite boring, a lot of it. So that I wasn't that emotionally invested in it. I didn't care. That's, I guess, why I was sleeping around so much. But the Baldur's Gate, I found myself, really.
Have you ever heard of a game called, I think it's Dragon Age Inquisition?
Yes.
And I've seen clips of it because I think there's a man-on-man romance. A little something for me there. And there was somebody wrote an article about this game and all of its romance options. And it was quite sad because it was a female writer playing the game, and she started romancing this sort of like cool, sexy warlock man. Yeah. He had a little mustache.
Okay.
Had a cute little cropped haircut, basically me. And she like did all of the quests that you can do with him, and then it got to the point where like, if you were a male character, you could romance him, but she didn't know that before playing the game. So she got all the way through his like quest line, and at the end he just says something like, "Oh, I'm seeing this guy now," and she writes about how she was genuinely like quite devastated that the man that she thought she had been romancing actually turned out to fancy somebody else, and it was never going to happen. And it genuinely sounded like it affected her like real world.
Well, I mean, it sounds silly, but like to be that invested emotionally in like the characters of a game, but you would get that invested in a character in a TV show,
Yeah, absolutely.
But then with a game, it's POV, right? You are playing the person.
It's a good old bit of POV.
So of course you're gonna be like, oh my god, it's me. I am me. Especially if you've called it, it's Sam Lake's Dragon Inquisition. Then the rejection is gonna feel real.
Gonna feel real. Yeah. Have you ever achieved something in a game that's made you a bit emotional? Because I achieved something in a game that made me emotional.
Yeah.
It was at the end of Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Because if you beat the game and then the last level's supposed to be like the Champions Road thing.
Yeah.
It took me days to try and beat it because you have to get through all of it when you can't die at any point. There's no checkpoints. I remember, and I think I finished it on the tube when I was still living in London. I was on the train, and I got to the end, and then it's a big skyscraper. You climb up to the top of the skyscraper, and your little hat companions just saying really nice things to you about how much he's enjoyed the adventure with you. And as you were getting closer to the top, he was just like, "Do you know what? I didn't expect it, but I'm really glad that fate put us together, and I think we've really become friends, and I hope our adventures continue someday in the future." And I was just like, I was welling up on the tube because I was just like, that's actually just very beautiful.
Wow. It sounds like you're as easily emotionally manipulated as me. But a hat was like, it's been nice knowing you, and you're like, I'm going to cry.
Yeah. A pair of tits, nothing. But a hat, a good old hat. Well, it was because it came at the end of like a level that like I was putting so much time into trying to beat. Yeah. And I kept getting so close to the end and then failing. Then once I finally beat it.
So it's a combination not only of the storytelling, but also your own success as a gamer.
Yeah.
I've had moments like that really hard when I beat the Medea, the dragon on Dark Souls 3. Commonly referred to as one of the hardest bosses of all time.
I don't like the Souls games. Too hard.
Too hard. Well, for some, maybe. For you, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. A bit in Batman when Bane is in the plane and he's like, "You're a pretty big guy. For you, maybe."
Yeah.
Anyway, that was me to you there. Love to explain my quotes. So when I beat that took days.
Yeah.
That was really, really hard. Yeah. Or, Radiance and Hollow Knight or Cuphead, beating Cuphead to the final.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These are like games that are classically really, really difficult.
And they're sort of sold as being really difficult as well.
So I played a lot of them during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of time on my hands. Mm-hmm. My wife was out of work. I was in the house on my own. So I beat all these very difficult games. And so when I beat them, I got very like, but then it's a fleeting feeling.
It doesn't last for long, no. No.
It's nothing compared to, the look of Shadowheart's eyes as she stares back at you,
I prefer the look of Shadowheart's boobies, personally.
Wow, that's my
But
vibe.
so, like a lot of platforms have like achievements and stuff. Do you ever look at those with like a sense of pride and think like, oh, I remember when I got that one?
I 100%ed Hollow Knight, which is the only real time I've ever done that. It's actually like 120% because it's like DLC and stuff. There's so much stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And So yeah, I did. But again, I'm glad I did it. But it's that's one where I go, that was a lot of time spent doing that I could have been, writing a novel.
Oh yes, writing a novel.
Well, no, I never have because I 120%ed Hollow Knight.
Would you ever write a novel so thick and so sad that when you see people reading it in public, you can start welling up?
That's the only type of novel I'm capable of writing.
Great. I'll buy 2 copies.
I'll tell you one of the greatest joy I ever achieved, a gaming achievement. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I look back on this and go, wow, because it's genuinely impressive.
Uh-huh.
And that is, I was obsessed when I was younger with the game Minesweeper.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I used to sit and play it for hours. Mm-hmm. That was like my go-to. I would sit on the computer and just click, 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 click. At school, at home, and I got so crazy good at it.
Yeah.
And I beat expert in 86 seconds once. Which, I mean, if you look up the world record, it's only like 60 seconds or something like that. It's so incredibly fast.
Yeah.
That anybody who knows anything about Minesweeper hears that and is like, what the fuck? That's amazing.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, was that not effusive enough praise?
I look back on it and I'm like, wow, that was a fucking crazy achievement of me to me.
Yeah.
And I would have been like 13 or something.
I think it's Josie Long used to have a bit about playing Minesweeper. She'd never beaten it. And then she beat it once, but it was after she'd come back from a night out and she was really drunk. And she beat Minesweeper and she got down to like knowing where the last one was about to put the flag on it. And she just went to herself, no, not like this. Not like this. Because she didn't want to achieve it in a not a sound state of mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that feeling's like because I beat it very easily.
Okay.
Are you good at Minesweeper?
I can beat it. I can't do it that quickly.
What about puzzle games and stuff? You a big puzzle guy? Like a big emotional puzzle game for me was Portal.
I did play through Portal 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Loved it. I didn't find it the most... I think I finished the first Portal in like maybe a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love games like that.
But we were talking about writing. I think Portal's a really funny game.
Yep.
So I enjoyed it. And like GLaDOS is just like, that's a really cunty character.
She is. You know what? Can I say?
Yeah.
She is cunty.
She is cunty.
And I don't really feel good saying that, but it did feel good to say.
No, you're an ally. You can say it.
Wow. Yeah. No, she's serving.
Honestly,
she's serving cake.
Hunty. She's
apparently.
Yeah.
God, I reckon there's 4 people that will get that joke, but by God, they'll enjoy it.
It's a niche episode. Fulfilling lots of niches.
If anybody has lasted this long, then they will be rewarded with a great joke about a game from 15 years ago.
And really, that's all men want. That's all men want. Listen, I had a lovely time chatting to you about video games.
It's over already?
Well, there's one little segment that we're going to end on.
Quiz.
Well, not a quiz. I'm going to...
Arm wrestle.
We're going to nude up and we're going to oil up. We're going to wrestle. It's a Patreon thing. No, the last thing that we're going to do, I've got a few random topics, things, subjects, and I would like to get your immediate feelings about them. Just whatever it strikes in your heart.
Okay. Here we go.
So the first thing, dark chocolate.
I love dark chocolate.
Really?
But I was actually chatting about this yesterday.
Okay.
I'm a big sugar fiend, right?
Yeah.
I love to binge stuff. So, and people always, if you actually buy dark chocolate, then you only have a little bit and then you don't binge it. I'm like, bitch, watch me.
Yeah.
I will sit and eat the dark chocolate digestives.
I can fuck with those. Yeah.
A pack in a oneer.
Uh-huh.
No danger. But dark chocolate, so I actually don't buy it because it is worse to binge than regular chocolate, but I can't.
Because somebody's told you that like it's a bit better than normal chocolate.
Well, no, but just because it is so rich that actually binging it is like really fucks with me. But I can't stop myself. I have no power.
Okay. I think this is a nice segue. How do you feel about pigeons?
I don't think I like them.
No?
No. See, when I've been to other countries that are like less pigeonified.
Less pigeony.
Yeah. I don't miss them.
Yeah, no.
If someone said tomorrow, if the fucking Right, breaking news alert. Pigeons are fucked. They're out of here.
Yeah.
They've got 4 days to live. Like, be a bit of a mess at first, but then I don't think I'd miss them.
Fair enough.
Sorry, pigeons.
No. They're not listening.
Conversely, Pidgey, big fan. That was one of my early Pokemon.
Yeah.
I would always have a Pidgey on deck.
Well, at the start of every Pokemon game, there is always a little bird type.
Yeah, so you get
little bird.
and you build up. You give it the TM fly. I don't think you need to give it a TM. I think it just flies.
In the new games, they got rid of HM moves because you always end up with one Pokemon that's just your HM slave, and then it's not really good for anything else. Yeah.
Because of woke.
Because of woke. Put Lopunny back in and make her titties bigger. Can we take that out? No, okay. How do you feel about sriracha?
I like spicy stuff.
Yeah.
I like hot sauce. I called a friend show of mine hot sauce.
You certainly did. I saw it. I thought it was great.
I can't eat too much of it now because of aforementioned tummy troubles. Sriracha, though, I always found to be a bit too sweet.
Interesting. Okay.
I found it a bit sweet, a little bit sickly. I will have it on stuff, but I think in terms of the hot sauce hierarchy, I think it's way overrated.
What's at the top then?
For me, personally, my favourite hot sauce is called Encona.
Okay.
Bird's eye chili hot sauce, available in most supermarkets. It's real spicy, but it's real nice.
Okay.
That or Naga sauce, which is like an African hot sauce, which is also really, really tasty.
Isn't Naga like the name of like a demon from Dungeons and Dragons? Isn't there like a Naga? Like it's like
Probably.
a snaky thing?
Yeah, you can romance her.
I think Ian's going to look it up. Can you romance her?
Yes, I love that. See Joe Rogan, they're looking up vaccine stats or anything. Hey, can we get that up? Can we get up? Is Naga a demon in Dungeons and Dragons?
It is. Like a snaky thing. Yeah.
Wow. That's my favourite hot sauce.
Well, there you go.
That and Encona are my numero unos.
Great Rex. That's what people listen for. Good Rex.
It's been a laddie episode. Video games, guns, and hot sauce recommendations.
And you know what? Things are about to get even laddier as I ask you, what do you think of Danny Minogue?
What were some of her songs?
That's a great question.
I always
begin to wonder.
How does that go?
And now I begin to wonder.
Yeah.
That one.
Not very good.
Okay.
She's pretty though.
Very pretty.
Like,
and that's all a woman is worth, is it, Liam?
Yes, correct.
Can you romance her?
I think I don't know much about her, but I think probably it must be hard being Kylie's sister, right? Kylie's always been number one, and you're always kind of looked upon as like the second weaker sort of freak, unwanted, unloved.
Yeah.
Sort of dustbin child.
The dustbin child.
So I feel quite bad for her, actually. So, no, I'll marry her. Was that the question?
I've heard a rumour that she might be doing Eurovision this year.
Wow. Yeah. I heard a rumour that both Justin Timberlake got hooked up with both Minogues.
Really?
Yeah.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time, but apparently...
He has had such a charmed life, given that he's kind of a piece of shit. No?
Yeah, probably is.
Okay.
Cool though, good dancer.
Yeah. If I have to say one nice thing about him, it will be that. No, do you know what? He has a song called Carry Out, which I quite like listening to.
He was good in The Social Network as well.
Yeah, where he played not a very nice man. Typecast. Final thing before we let you go. How do you feel about a towel that's been left out and you can't tell if it's cold or wet?
See, that happens a lot because my wife hangs out the towels.
Yeah.
I do stuff in the house as well before you all start.
Oh, you cuck.
No, but she's like, I would hang up a towel inside, whereas she's got this washing line and she's like, she loves to hang.
She hangs them up outside.
Yeah. So I'm often dealing with the cold or wet situation. Yeah. And not a fan at all, no.
It's a risky game.
If I remember, I'll pop it on the radiator before I have a shower.
It's bad for the radiator. Makes the radiator overwork.
Do you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Cost of living where?
I don't care about a radiator's feelings, okay?
No, I mean, it gets hotter, and so you use more energy because the thing over the top of it can't regulate its own
I'm
heat.
doing very well.
Right, well, I think that brings us neatly to the end of the episode. Liam, it's been a joy and a pleasure.
I've had a nice time. I've had such a lovely time.
Before you go, would you like to plug anything? You of course have your wonderful podcast with CMB.
Yes, me and Christopher McArthur do a podcast where we listen to a different album every week. Sam is coming on it soon.
I really want to
chat about Little Mix. I think
it was either Little Mix or the Sugar Babes.
Is it Little Mix or Lil Mix?
Little Mix.
It is Little Mix.
It's Little Mix.
Okay. It's not like Lil Bow Wow.
No.
Who was not Little Bow Wow.
It was quite large Bow Wow. But I also want to come on and talk about Eurovision sometime.
Yes. Okay. So
that would be fun.
Yep. And I'm touring my show as well. That starts in Glasgow on 29th of March and then going all over the bloody place.
Chronic Boom. Fantastic show. Loved it. I actually loved it. It was one of my favourite shows.
That's just because I cried.
If that's my reason for it being one of my favourite shows, deal with it. I
Honestly,
love seeing men cry.
Slay.
Honestly, slay.
Honestly, cry.
And where can people find you?
At Liam Withnail on everything.
On everything.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. We'll see you for another episode very soon. Bye-bye.